The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Makeup's done? Hair's did?
This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
Time for News-ish with Betty Rock on The Wally Show.
We've all been to those weddings where we could tell the couple was young. They're trying to save some money, so they're trying to, create a dream wedding, but cutting some corners.
Sure, I get that.
But this one couple might have taken the cake. So I found it online, and this is what's so crazy. So it was an outdoor wedding, 95 degrees outside, okay? Direct sunlight.
Thanks.
I've been there. I've been to a friend's wedding where we were out in the middle of the sun in a field. And this guy was wearing like a light purple dress shirt in front of me. And by the end of the ceremony, it was see-through. It was so bad. Anyways, okay, so this couple, they have an outdoor wedding, 95 degrees outside. So you might be thinking, well, they're going to offer their guests some water. No, there were no free beverages. There was a sign. Yes. And so if you wanted a cup of water, they were going to charge you $2.
No,
okay?
even $2 is exorbitant.
Yes. And then on top of that, if you pulled out your debit card or your credit card, nope, cash only.
Oh.
So if you didn't have cash, you couldn't get water.
That is so bad.
Yes. So it comes down to the fact that the bride thought that the water, like if people brought bottled water or their bottles of water, that it wouldn't match the aesthetic that she was going for. So they were banned.
Oh my gosh.
So then on top of that, you might be thinking, okay, they'll redeem all of this at the, what do you call it? The reception? Actually not. There was a homemade buffet.
Yeah,
Ooh,
nice.
That sounds
like
good.
my wedding, actually.
Okay, so they did provide plates, napkins, and forks for the guests.
Okay.
However, once they cleaned up the homemade buffet and put out dessert, like the wedding cake and all that, there were no plates, no napkins, no forks left. Okay, they'd already been used. So if you wanted a piece of cake or another dessert, you had to hold it with your hand and eat it with your fingers. Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
Like at some point, if you don't have the money to...
Don't do a wedding.
Yeah, or don't have that many guests.
Yeah, just do something really small. As somebody who just went through a wedding with his daughter and constantly was reminding her, do not be a bridezilla, don't go crazy.
Yeah.
But, save money too. Like, I want you to save money.
Yeah.
And I know, like, people get upset about, like, a cash bar at a wedding or whatever. I have zero problem with a cash bar at a wedding because I'm like, look, I don't want to pay to get people drunk. Like, why would I do that? It's not what I do,
Right.
And people will abuse that too. And so it's like I don't think that's being cheap. Having people pay for water, that is ridiculously cheap.
And then make it where you don't have someone like run out to the dollar store and just get some plates and some forks extra.
Yeah, there are ways you can do stuff though, like on your wedding, to still have a beautiful day, have it nice, and not break the bank, but also be good for your guests.
Well, like you and your wife did back in 1979?
No, 1992.
Wow. 92, where Wally here was the DJ. By making a mixtape.
I made mixtapes and played them on a home stereo. Like, we were broke as a joke.
Oh, it was so cute.
All the food was made by women in the church and like our moms, and so it was right at the reception hall at the church. There were some streamers and pictures on a bulletin board. Like, it's so bad. Like, when I literally had this conversation with my wife yesterday because I was seeing pictures from Haley's wedding, and her wedding was just beautiful. Like, and I made this statement. I go, she got a day she doesn't deserve. And my wife's like, what? I'm like, no one deserves it to be that nice. Like, it was really, really nice, and considering what we had.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you had put Haley, your daughter, in the vicinity of just where your wedding had been, should have been like, what is this trash?
Why do you hate me, Father? Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. There's so many problems that don't seem to have solutions. And so when somebody is an idea person and they come up with something, you're like, nicely done. Betty Rock is that person. Betty Rock, I think, has solved a big problem that we have. And it seems like the answer is so simple, but people haven't thought of it.
Yeah, maybe you don't know this about me, but a lot of, during my leisure time, I like to listen to a lot of true crime podcasts or watch true crime shows. And all the time you hear in these podcasts and shows that the police didn't do the right amount of investigation. They were overwhelmed with too much work. And so they're trying to, cut corners. But I was on TikTok the other day and I saw this video of this woman that she was like, and these TikTokers band together and they found out who did this to my sister.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute. Here's the simple solution, okay? Police have too much going on. Hire women that find it fun to solve problems. Like, I mean, you don't want to get on the bad side of a woman TikToker because she will find
aggressive. She
will find all the skeletons in the closet. So if the police are overwhelmed, just give it to the TikTokers. They'll solve the crime within 2 minutes.
And you could pay them very little, if anything, because most of them want to do it for their podcast that they're working on,
it's
kind of thing.
It's a simple solution.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. TikTok, man, you can do anything out in public, and TikTok people find all the information, all the dirt. Look at the Coldplay concert.
Right.
Like, look how that happened. That blew up on TikTok, and that guy's life done.
And these are people that have full-time jobs, but they do this just on because they find it fun.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of people you want, especially if something you need answers to. You want those people in your life that'll dig and find the information.
I like it. I like that you're a problem solver, troubleshooting today. I am curious if other people wired like you have thoughts on, guys, this is the simple solution for blank. You know, like it makes so much sense. So for, crimes, hire podcast wannabe sleuths on TikTok to help you solve your crimes. It's a great one. Piggybacking off of this inspired me to think about what is another problem that I think could be addressed and solved, and it's road rage. How do you solve road rage? And I figured it out.
Calm down?
No, you can't. No, you can't just say calm down.
That does the opposite.
Yeah,
of calming down.
You're obviously not a guy who's told a woman to calm down before. You've never seen it escalate so fast. Hire a driver.
Yes.
There is something about it. Like, because if I'm driving, I get really mad, and I know that person cut me off. If my wife is driving and I'm in the passenger seat, I'm like, all right, we'll get there when we get there. It's not a big deal. Why are you getting so upset?
Right, like, passenger princess.
There's something about that seat that chills you out, man. Yeah. And so if every day you're driving to work, hire an Uber, or if you struggle with road rage, figure it out. Make it an investment in your sanity to get someone to drive you to and from work.
I wonder if you could make that into a business.
I know a guy that does. He started his own business off of Uber, and one of his things is a standing account to drive a guy to and from work every day.
Oh my word!
How great is that?
I would love that. Yeah. I would love a ride to work every single day.
Right, because then I could sleep some more.
It's funny. I was thinking I could get my work done getting into work, and Betty's like, I could sleep. Well, two different versions of the same car. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. In addition to the music that we play that hopefully inspires you in your faith and keeps you in it on the daily basis, we have something called our prayer wall where you can post prayer requests and get people to pray for you. And then you can even get a notification that says, hey, somebody prayed for you just now. And those notifications seem to come in at random times when somebody else is praying for you. But it always seems to be, from the people I've talked to, the perfect time. And that's what I love about the prayer wall. And you can get involved with it right now, either praying for someone or being prayed for.
Just text the word pray to 91979 and we will send you a link. That's pray to 91979.
And, the fears or the prayers, the worries, the needs run the gamut. You've got Andrew saying, hey, pray God will help me in my control of my stress and anxiety to be calm and patient during frustrating moments, that God would help me control my tongue and anger today. I like it. It's today, exclamation point. That's somebody that might be walking into a meeting, and I get it, man. I understand that. Those are tough moments. But then you've got another one that's like, please pray for my son Randy. He needs intercession for alcohol addiction. You know, and
yeah,
so,
and that's a story where she might be the mom or the dad might be in a Bible study, but it's something they may not want to just put out there for the whole world to know. But you can do this anonymously. That's what's so great about the prayer wall, is if you have something heavy on your heart that you want prayer for, you can post anonymously and have other people pray for you.
And these are those prayer requests too that, you know, you want to control things in life. We all do to some degree. These are things you have no control over. You know, this person has told their son multiple times, hey, this isn't good for you. It's not healthy for you. You got to change this. And it's fallen on deaf ears. What do you do at that point? All you can do is turn it over to God in prayer and say, God, you got to work in this guy's heart. Help me to love him, you know, even in the middle of his mess, so he always knows that he's loved. And hopefully that will ring true and it will all click for him one day, you know. But in the meantime, I need strength to do that. And so that's what we have the prayer wall for. If you want to check it out, just text the word pray to 91979.
Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of, even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
Getting you caught up. It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
One of the best reasons to shop at Costco is because of their return policy. You can return things that are used or even a couple years old. It's crazy customer service, but people seem to do it. And the people at Costco that are doing the customer service never make you feel bad about it. That's what I love. There was a lady who bought a rug. Her kid poured slime on it and it stained it. Her friend's like, just return it to Costco. And she was a bit embarrassed, but she did, and they took it back.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's
They're
why.
angels.
Did they know about the slime?
Oh yeah. I will buy things at Amazon because it's easy to return, and at Costco. Those are my two favorite places, even big ticket items. The lady's justification was, you know what? I spend thousands of dollars here every year. I just bought 2 couches from them. I don't think $150 is going to hurt them. I disagree with that. Like, I think you should not return that. That's on you. That's on your kid. Your kid should work off the $150, honestly. But they'll do it. There's like there's people online that talk about the different things people have returned to Costco that they've seen, kind of like the people of Walmart. And one was like a toilet with water still in it. Yeah, that's gross. A Christmas tree returned after Christmas.
Oh, that's wrong.
One lady got a full refund for a 2.5-year-old couch because she didn't like the color anymore.
Yeah, I've heard that.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
That's sad on.
Yeah, I know. Like,
That's wrong.
I have a socket set I bought from them, a DeWalt socket set, so a good socket set 4 years ago. And the middle socket never locked on the sockets. The wrench, it has a little ball bearing, it would never lock them in. I literally could take that back to them today and go, this never really worked right, it doesn't work right, and they would replace it.
Why does Costco do this? Like, why do they have such a very generous return policy?
Because they care about their customer. Like, they realize these are small, the vast majority of people aren't these people. But everybody knows I'm not going to get hassled if I return something and they like it. Like the CEO, back when they first started, somebody called him and said, hey, there's a person here that wants to return this. And he's like, why are you calling me with this? Just take it back. And that became the mantra. And that's why people still shop there, because they treat they love their customer. It's the weirdest thing.
Never heard of it.
There was a YouTube creator that got blowback, though, because he wanted to test the limits of their return policy in a series of like stunts. And so he took back a half-eaten chicken bake, 3-week-old flowers that he never put in water. And then he did like the Vincent van Gogh Lego and built it all and then took it in and returned it.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
And they took it.
They took it back.
Oh, no way.
But see, here's the thing, though. Okay, so here's a YouTube creator. A half-eaten chicken bake, and they return it. That cost them 80 cents.
Yeah.
But then when it goes online and they're being kind and doing stuff, it's great publicity for them. So
Right.
It totally works. And the best reason, I know this sounds like a Costco commercial. I was in Costco the other day and I was like, oh, my wife and I at the same time gasped, and a lady 2 aisles over, we all had the same realization and we all went, they have Coke back. They had switched to Pepsi, which we hate. They now have switched back to Coke for their $1.50 hot dog deal.
Woo!
And so Coke is back at Costco, y'all.
Praise the Lord.
I'm telling you, I don't trust people with the exception of our new boss that like Pepsi. Him, I love. Look, we all have little areas in our life that aren't perfect. That's his. But man, Coke is back at Costco. So get yourself a hot dog deal today. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and we all have problems that can, kind of own us from time to time, but I found a TikTok pastor, Josh Howard, and he's actually a real pastor, he's not just on TikTok, but a lot of his stuff shows up there, talking about problems and using the Apostle Paul as the perfect example of how to have joy in spite of the problems.
The happiest people in the world don't have less problems than you. They just have a purpose that's bigger than their problems. That's why the Apostle Paul, he has more problems than any of us. Like, we're going to kill you. And he's just like, I'm good, man. Because if you torture me, well, then I don't consider the sufferings of this present world worth comparing to the glory that's going to be revealed to me. If you put me in a prison cell, fine. I'm going to write letters that are going to last thousands of years till Jesus returns. If you kill me, to die is gain. I'll go see him. Let me out. I'm going to spread the gospel. It's like he had a purpose bigger than his problems that he lived for. That's why he was happy.
Well, there's a perspective today. Like that puts a fine point on it.
But I think it's mainly just because Paul's perspective was on the eternal instead of what he could see here on earth. He knew what was waiting for him, and that was more important than anything the world could offer.
And really, when you think about it, if that's your driver, that should definitely change how you perceive everything around you. Like, it's funny because right before we started talking here, like when the song was playing, Gavin and I were discussing, God's activity / inactivity in our lives, and when is he active, when is he not? How do we justify it and rationalize it, and having all this big conversation about it? And Betty's just quiet over there.
I mean, we've had this discussion before, and I can't say anything new I haven't already said.
Yeah, but I mean, to that point, though, because we're looking at the things around us, and you're like, I'm so frustrated by God not getting involved here, But Paul was like, whether he does or not doesn't matter. I'm living for what happens next, and so that was a great perspective from Paul. And that's why they have all the stories in the Bible and all the characters in the Bible that were real people, and what you can take away from their lives is what we use every day in our life to connect us to our faith and hopefully strengthen our faith. And we were talking about this yesterday, and I think Betty Rock came up with a good take on this. It's like, what is that Bible character that you have learned something from because of their life, because of their story, because of their mess even, because a lot of the Bible characters are flawed individuals, and sometimes the lesson is what not to do from them, and so we'll take it either way, right, Rock?
Yeah, we definitely will.
All right, 855-33-WAY-FM. Why we're laughing is because I'm like, okay, this was your idea, and hopefully it won't tank like the first hour.
Thanks.
Which was also your idea. But see, in saying that, Rock, and pulling back the curtain, people will rally to your defense to make sure that this is successful.
You set me up for disaster.
No. I'm setting you up for the win. Because now people are like, oh, this is Betty asking? I definitely want to chime in on this. Even if I have nothing to say, I'm going to call because they love you, okay? So, anywho, what is that Bible character that you learned something from? And what was it? 855-33-WAY-FM. If you have trouble getting through, it's because there's so many people calling. 855-33-WAY-FM. So, Clint, what is that Bible character that you've learned something from?
Other than Jesus, it would be David.
Okay, now David messed up pretty big, but he also had some really big highs. He had lows and highs. So what is it about David that you connect with?
In my opinion, probably screwed up more than most. But God still loved him because he knew how to repent and he knew how to pray and he knew God.
That's a really good perspective on the fact that he messed up, we messed up, but he knew how to repent. You know, like he yelled at God.
Yeah.
He got mad at him. He got frustrated by him. We all do that. But he also knew who God was in his life, and he knew to have reverence in awe of him as well. And I think we've taken the awe of God away because we've tried to make him our best friend or daddy God, you know, and we've taken that reverence away and that fear of the Lord away as well. So that's a great one, Clint. I appreciate you being on the show with us today.
Yes, sir.
V, welcome to the conversation we're having about that Bible character that you identify with and why.
My answer is Job.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, because Job got smited.
So why is he the one that you really resonate with?
I had some tragedy in my life. I was the youngest of 6, and my daddy died, and I was at his bedside. Then an hour and a half after leaving my house on Thanksgiving a couple of years ago, my only son was killed. And then a year later, I was at my mom's bedside when she took her last breath due to COVID. And the only person I could turn to was God for comfort.
See, that's the thing. You mentioned you turn to God for comfort because, like, I can debate people like, okay, you know, I see God did this and God did this and God did this. And you're like, okay, well, did he? You know, I don't know when he is truly active in somebody's life or not. But when you say God gave me comfort, that's something I can always agree with. I think we try to interpret what God is doing. And sometimes it's him and sometimes I don't think it is. But we can always come down on the side of, he's like, I'm not going to steer you around all these storms. Your family member is dying. He didn't protect you from that. We always say God's going to protect you. He didn't protect you from that, but he does promise to comfort you in that. And I think that's something that we can all agree on. And I think that we can hang on to. And that's what gets us through some of those really, really hard times. And that's what Job did. He is the guy that refused to leave God, even when it looked like to everybody else that God had left him. So who's your person, Kelly?
For some reason, the Samaritan woman at the well really came over me. Just a reflection of life and how everybody saw her as a sinner and no good. And Jesus loved her anyway. And he pointed out that her sin is no greater or worse than anybody else's sin. And that just, in this world today, often I may feel not good enough. People may not feel good enough. He loves us anyway. Just go to Jesus.
I love that. I want to illustrate this point by having you and Betty talk about the biggest sin you've had.
Absolutely not.
Lately.
That is ridiculous.
But no, Betty, this is to help people understand that their sin is no worse than yours, because yours is pretty bad.
What? Yes, maybe I smacked that lady when she tried to take my bag of Cheetos, but she had it coming.
And that's not even your worst.
Oh.
But you're right, Kelly. I love that everyone wanted to condemn this lady and they wanted to stone her. And the one person that had the right to was Jesus. And he chose to forgive her and restore her. And that is a great story that we can all hang on to. Well, thanks for being on the show with us today.
Have a blessed day, all.
It's today's Music Insider.
TMI.
With Gavin.
TMI, my friends.
Forrest Frank, probably still one of the hottest names in Christian radio. You know him for his hit song Good Day.
I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say.
Kind of had a bad day lately.
He did, in fact. He broke his back, actually. And
boy, you saying that with such a laugh in your voice.
Man,
wow, Gavin.
I don't feel that way.
I expect better from you.
If you want to actually see the video, viewer discretion is advised. He posted it on his Instagram. It looked bad.
I can say this, the reason that Gavin is kind of chuckling through it is that Forrest has a great attitude about it, and he's not like in a back brace or anything. Like when people say they broke their back, you're like, oh my gosh, you snapped in half and you're paralyzed. He hit his vertebrae and like probably has like fractures in them. Yeah. So it's not fun.
No, but someone recently asked him, how are you going to make, fire music while you're bedridden with a back injury? And this is literally him making music in his bed with a broken back.
God's got my back. That's the lowest hanging fruit right there. Way is better, you make no mistakes. Your way is better, you make no mistakes, even when my life is on roller skates.
He was on a skateboard when he broke his back.
Let's do a full run through and see how it is. God's got my back. Even when I fall or get attacked, God's got my back. Even when I'm low and full of laugh.
It's interesting, like, you take as an artist the things that you go through in life and you try to make it applicable, and you write from your experience. I think it's interesting that he's in bed, he's cracked his back, and he's writing a song about God has my back.
Right.
Because you can make the point, well, he didn't have your back. You fell on your back.
Right. And I would think, too, singing would hurt your back.
Yeah. But he powered through somehow, some way.
Yeah. And I do think it just speaks to what you had mentioned earlier about him, that he is somebody who I think he does work really hard, but he has a good perspective. And it's kind of, I think it's encouraging to see someone who goes through something terrible, but is still out here making music about God.
Agreed. He actually inspired me to write a song to his song, Good Day. And so I've put pen to paper and have come up with a parody song about this accident that he had. And I hope it makes him smile, because it did me. And so we'll do that in 10 here on The Wally Show.
I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and we love ourselves some Forrest Frank on the show. He's a great artist and a super like positive vibes guy and stuff. And recently he was like skateboarding with his kid, and he took a nasty fall. Like, it's on the internet and stuff like that, and the skateboard goes out from underneath him, and he lands on the corner of the concrete of his house on his back, which he wasn't wearing a shirt, by the way, which is weird. But anyhow, ends up on his back. His kid is over there. I help you, Daddy. I help you, Daddy. And he's trying to be like a strong dad. He didn't ever cuss, which was really good because he hit hard. And then his kid's like, you're better now. And he is not better. His wife comes out. She's like, did you hit your head? He's like, no. And he couldn't get up. And so they ended up calling an ambulance, and they neck brace him and everything and take him to the hospital. And turns out he like cracked his L3 and L4 vertebrae, which is no joke. Ouch. I mean, that technically is a broken back. Now, he's not like in a traction suit or anything like that. So that's good. So it doesn't seem like it was crazy serious because they don't have him immobilized, but he's definitely on bed rest. But he's making the most of his time. He's writing songs from his bed, and he's kind of laughing about things, which I think gave me the space, because as I heard his song Good Day, it rhymed kind of with back brace, and it made me write a parody song to his song Good Day about his accident. And I think if anyone can appreciate this, it would be Forrest Frank. So here is my parody song for Good Day.
Okay.
I'm about to have a back brace to hold my vertebrae. 30's too old for skateboarding. At least that's what they say. I'm about to have a back brace, but I will not complain. The God who made Sir Tony Hawk must have looked away, so it's a back brace. Hanging with my kids, doing ollies with no shirt. I cracked my back on concrete, I gotta say that hurt. I must have passed out, saw the good Lord from above. He said it's not your time, but you gotta give it up. Made it on YouTube, what not to do. Can feel my legs, I'm black and blue, but I know he's got my back. My stash is still intact. I'm about to get a back brace to hold my vertebrae.
Well done.
30's too old for skateboarding. At least that's what they say. I'm about to get a back brace. Thank you. That would have been great, Rock. I'm gonna have to have you come in the studio with me, guest artist.
No, I don't want any part
Absolutely.
of this.
No, you were great. You made that even better.
Can't just do that.
You want to do a remix and do a guest spot?
No.
Please?
No.
Yeah. So, I mean, anytime you have a tragedy, you have to find the good in it. And so while I'm sad that he hurt his back, as lyrically was in there, I'm so glad it wasn't his face and that his stash is intact. So
thank goodness.
Yeah.
The Lord was really looking out for him.
there you go. Silver lining right there.
Done.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me right now? Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And if you're a kid and you're tired of being seen and not heard, this is your place. Because this is Are You Kidding Me? Where we just talk to kids about something because we want to know what you think. We value your opinion and your honesty. Love this about kids. And so we'll throw out something here and get your thoughts on it. Betty Rock, what do you got?
Yeah, I tumbled across this girl who told me that she has the perfect gift for when it comes to giving a birthday gift to a kid. And I think what kids don't understand is there is a pull and a push and a pull, because when you get a gift for a kid, you don't want to get them an annoying toy that they might want because you might make the parent mad. They don't want to hear that toy playing over and over and over. Well, she said the perfect gift to give for kids is you get them a candy bar and then you wrap a $20 bill around it. Ooh. And she said 9 times out of 10, it has been a hit, not only with the kid, but with the parent as well.
If I was a kid and I got a $20 bill wrapped around a candy bar, I would love that person forever. I'd be like, this person knows me. They get me.
That would still work for me now.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Like, that's great.
It would work for me too. Did she find the perfect solution?
I don't know. As adults, we think it sounds great. But maybe as a kid, you're like, it's kind of going easy. Like, you didn't put any thought into it.
Yeah, maybe you feel like they phoned it in.
Yeah, I don't know. So this is where we're going to get your perspective on it, kids. All right, so we're going to do like a 5 calls it. You call and tell us, what do you think? Is this $20 bill wrapped around a candy bar, is that a good, acceptable gift? Will you accept that gift on your birthday?
Right.
Or will you go, try again? Next. So 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. If you got to get your parents' permission, please do that. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'd like you to weigh in on this for Are You Kidding Me right now?
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it on The Rock Report.
Wally and Gavin, have either of you watched Biggest Loser, that reality TV show?
Yes.
I never did, no.
I watched a lot of it. I watched about the first 5 seasons. My wife and I watched it every week. I wanted to be on it.
Really?
Yeah, I had ice cream every night for a while. I was training.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Micah Tyler had been remember he auditioned for it. I don't think he got on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Well, I might have found out then why Micah Tyler didn't get on. So the show Biggest Loser debuted back in 2004, and it had 18 seasons. The winner would be the one who lost the most weight, would get a $250,000 prize. And here's the thing. I didn't know this, but when they were looking for contestants, they looked for people who were, of course, overweight, but also unhappy. I bet Micah Tyler was too happy. Mm-hmm. So anyways, they wanted that unhappy person because, well, that would motivate them to want to lose the weight. But also, too, they wanted it to bring in ratings because they would get down into the grips of it and figure out why they were unhappy, why they were overeating with examples like this.
The only way you're going to let that go, Tanya, is forgiving them. I want you to write 2 letters for me. The first letter you write, I want you to write to your mother.
Very powerful. I get it.
Write to your mother.
I get it. You know what? Because honestly, though, in all seriousness, like the weight loss is not just physical. It is mental for a lot of people because a lot of people use food to cope. Some people use alcohol. Some people use food. And so you've got to get down to that deeper level of what's going on. Right. Why are you overeating?
Right. The root of it. Well, if you've been on Netflix anytime soon, you may have seen it like I did. There's a trailer that's out for a new documentary, which Netflix is doing great with documentaries, but it's about The Biggest Loser. And they go into real detail about the story behind it because there were so many allegations from former contestants claiming that they were really being used to get the ratings. Like they weren't Like for instance with the therapy session, like they were trying to get you to cry. They were trying, which
Good
they
TV.
should have known. Yeah.
Right.
But also too, one contestant even claimed that the diet that they were put on wasn't even possible outside of the show. She
Right.
said that my organs were shutting down.
There was definitely a controversy over trying to lose weight so rapidly and fast because you've got a whole TV show. You've got to wrap it up in however many seasons, or episodes. And so to see without the dramatic weight loss and the reveal at the end, you don't have a show. And so that was where a lot of the controversy came in, that it was unhealthy the way they were doing it. But Bob Harper and Jillian Michaels, who were two of the main hosts, they swear by what they did was healthy and safe in the right way.
But didn't one of them have a heart attack?
Bob Harper did. I think he died. Yeah.
No, I don't think he died.
wait,
I think
he lived?
He
Okay.
came close to it.
Okay, yeah,
but he
but
was
he
young.
did. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't
Biggest
know.
loser.
That's why I don't work out. Like I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. But yeah, you're right. Netflix does great documentaries,
Yeah.
and that's one I definitely will be checking
And
out.
it's coming out soon, so keep your eyes peeled.
All right, that's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. Betty Rock, I have a question. Why are you and other women, let me finish,
Definitely not.
never satisfied? Like, you always have to change the people around you. Like, for example, today, Betty Rock walked in. I was here for like 30 minutes before her working early, and I had my heater on because I was cold. She walks in, she's like, can we turn off your heater? Like, okay.
You just walk in and demand that?
Yeah, she did. She demanded it.
Does demand start with can you?
Yeah, but if I don't, she walks out and she goes, "Oh, I'll just work out here today
Well, I
instead of in my
will.
office."
Well, I will. Why do
know.
you need me
Yeah.
in there? Maybe
Yeah.
you have a problem.
No, and so
Why do you need to change me?
she wants to change me. My wife wants to change me.
No,
and
I
I think that's a woman thing.
No, I think what we're trying to do is make you a better person.
See, by changing me. I was fine the way I was.
No, you weren't. You weren't fine. No, trust me, you weren't fine.
I would argue that I was probably mentally healthier before I met you.
I would argue the same.
So here's what we want to talk about. Like, what is that growth badge that your spouse deserves? Okay, you've done the work, ladies. You've put in the work, and now you're seeing the fruits of your labor. You have changed him. You go to Bible study and you brag about it. Oh yeah, my husband used to be this. But ladies, here's what I did. He's this now, Like we were talking about this the other day, and Betty was talking about me, and I said, well, I don't turn off like my personality and the extremeness of me, but I've turned it down a little bit. And so that is a growth badge. I should get a growth badge for that, You should be
For
thanking
the
me.
bare minimum, you
100%.
should get a growth badge.
1,000,000,000% I should get a growth badge. So what is that growth badge you think you could give to your guy right now? 855-33-WAY-FM. How is your tutelage paid off? 855-33-WAY-FM. Now be honest too, okay? This isn't a judgment thing, but I just think it's a natural thing. I think women are wired to fix project men, and make them the perfect man for them so that they can enjoy
Trust
the rest
me,
of their life.
Perfection was never attainable in your situation.
Oh, absolutely not.
We were just hoping for the best.
Yeah, and that's what you got. You got
Still hoping.
You got the bar you set. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours right now. What is that growth badge that you could give your husband because of the work you've done?
He is not as defensive when I point out that perhaps a reaction is not in line with what God would have him do.
Okay, so you've worn him down, and B, you've Jesus juked him. Nicely done. You're working in the guilt and everything.
No,
see, I think that it's not that we try to change our husbands, but God has given us, man and woman, our gifts, and we are a symbiotic relationship, and we should push each other to grow.
Yes.
Because we are a genuine safe space for criticism.
I think that's biblical because you would want a spouse
I
that
agree.
would push you towards being a better person. If they wouldn't love you if they just let you settle for mediocre.
Let me just tell you this. You do push us. You push every button inside of us.
It sounds like, Wally, that you might have a need to sit with God about some resentment.
Wow. Oh, so now you're taking your tips and you're extending them outside of your own husband and just giving them randomly, willy-nilly to every man.
I support it.
Now, Gavin, you also have the advantage of having a life coach at home as well when you're married.
A co-driver.
Yeah. And so if your wife, Haley, was to comment on this today, what growth badge would she give you? Like, how do you think you've grown as a man, and how has she changed you?
I think that she would give me the badge for standing up for myself.
Really?
Back in when we met as teenagers. With her.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, with her. This is controversial, maybe.
And she accepts this.
She does. It's amazing. But she would, if we had a confrontation, or if she was mad at me about something, I would usually just, oh yeah, you're right. Like, just kind of give in.
I did that my first 7 years.
That's a long time. I'm in the 7 years.
Yeah. You'll hit a point.
I've gotten to the point recently where if I want to, if she allows me to, I will stand up for myself when I think I'm right.
I usually check with her first before I do it. I email her, then text her.
Wow, how's it going?
It's great. I love it. No, but it is good. It's allowed us to be better at having constructive conversations versus me being somebody who just bottles it up and pushes it down and not letting it boil to the surface later.
Let me tell you this, as somebody who's been married for 33 years, there's an arc. So the first however many years it is, it's different for everybody, but you kind of want to keep the peace and things like that. Then you hit this point where you're like, you know what? I am in this marriage too. I'm going to speak my truth, my mind, and I'm going to stand like where Gavin's at now for what I believe. But then there's a part in that curve where it starts to go down the downside.
Oh, I'll go back to
no, you just stop caring.
Oh, okay.
like you're like and you can actually, in all seriousness, you have to watch your tone and being flippant or being dismissive about things that your partner finds important or wants to see change or things like that, and you get to where you're like and you just kind of ignore it, and then that's when it gets bad. And so that's just a few, and that's what I've had to watch myself on, because there are things, I've been married for so long, there are things that, like, my wife is still passionate about or wants to see, and it's not important to me, and so I blow it off, kind of thing. And I have to be very careful of being dismissive with her is in this marriage lifestyle product cycle that we're in. So there you go.
Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom. Yeah, who knew that was going to happen today? Certainly not me. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. You could only be so lucky to have a friend like Betty Rock in your life who cares about you and wants to help make your life better. That's why we do the Scoop with things that she finds that can help improve your life. So what do you got today, Rock?
Listen, I'm afraid that before I share this scoop that you're going to be like, oh, duh.
Obvious. Okay, because we've had a few of those, let's be honest.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, so hear me out. Okay. I know the scoop on how to get a shorter wait time at the DMV.
Okay, all right, because I have literally spent 4 hours in a DMV before, and not the best mentally constructive hours. It broke me down. It broke me down hard, to the point where I was not a good version of myself at the end when they tried to close without helping me.
Oh!
Yeah.
They tried to close without helping you?
They tried. That was in Georgia back in the day.
Wow. Okay, then wait a minute. Okay, so the scoop is you need to show up just before it closes for the day.
Okay.
Reason being, everything moves faster because the workers just want to go home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're saying, though, that you were there for 4 hours before they were going to close, and they still tried to close without you.
They did, and they're like, sorry, we're out of time today. And I'm like, nope.
Absolutely
I was like, nope, I've been here for 4 hours.
Yep.
Because I had just moved to the state, and I had to get things worked out. And, like, I was starting a new job, and so, like, I'm like, no, just no. Like, how?
No.
Like, that's insane. I've been here for 4 hours.
Were you the only one left?
No.
There were other people?
Oh, yeah.
See, here's what they need to do. They need to cut the line off.
Exactly.
They need, like maybe an hour before they close, be like, you can't come after this.
Yeah, you're not in the door. Because once you're in the door, what happens is you have hope. Until you get into the black hole that is the DMV of hope, where it just sucks your very soul out of your body.
Well, you might be hearing this and thinking, oh no, I've got to update my driver's license here soon, and I'm already dreading it. Maybe you want to hear this scoop and take it with you. Perhaps you may want to try. I mean, if you get there at the tail end of the day and they tell you no, you didn't really lose too much. Yeah, you can just show up the next morning super early with the rest of them.
One other DMV trick for me, or any long line trick for me, which was fun, is we were at the DMV. We went and did our, what do they call them? The one where you get the star on it.
The Real ID.
Real ID, yeah. We had done a few years ago, actually. We were ahead of the game. But we sat there. It was a long wait. It was like a 2-hour wait. And we sat there and we have the app Heads Up. That game where you put that phone on your head and try to guess it. We played that for 2 hours, and we're laughing so hard. And then other people around us started playing with us and having fun. And it really took a really bad situation and turned it into something good. And then plus, at the end of it, we were this united unit so we could storm the DMV if they had tried to close, which is really important.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes, as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.